Hi, my name is Pavel Savyanko and welcome to a new Cube video. Today we are in the city of Jülich in the Citadel and I want to show you one interesting small thing. Take a look here. Do you see the small step in the roof of this building? That's because this building is cut in half. The ground of Jülich slowly going down and they have to support one half of the building that it stays on the same level. But it has nothing to do with the topic of today's video. In today's video I want to show you how to configure cube value views in the CubeGUI. Let's do it. Okay, we are back into our terminal and today I would like to show you another feature of CubeGUI, how one can configure so-called value view in a CubeGUI. So for that we start a cube and let's open first a typical cube file, result of the measurement, so in this case it is trace, and we see here absolute typical display. We have the metrics, we have call tree, we have subsystem tree, and we have values, and all these values, they are basically numbers. They might be float numbers, they might be integer numbers, but they are numbers. And every value basically displayed as a small square with coloring according to this color bar down, and value like here 512, 14,000, 145,143. So obviously that is the maximal value in this tree, therefore it is red, here is the minimal, and so on. And that goes across the whole display. So we have with small the square the coloring, and the value is next to it. So for example, if we have no values, then it is flat, otherwise it is a little bit raised, and if it would be positive or negative, so negative values, if I will find now any negative values, let's see, maybe somewhere here as an artifact or something. No. So a negative value, for example, would be then not raised square, but rather suppressed. But that's a small optical detail. Of course, CubeGUI displays every this element using our plugin infrastructure. So there is a possibility to develop a small plugin which exactly visualizes this value. About it in another video. Just here to mention it so that one understands, and of course one can configure, and that is exactly what I would like to demonstrate. So for that one goes to the menu display, and here is the menu option configure value view. So if one selects it, one with small dialog, and here is basically double and integer and default value view. So we have here only double and integer because in our cube file we have only doubles and integers. Therefore CubeGUI suggests you or offers you only these values to configure, and in the current setup we have only one basically plugin, just to have some insight for internals, which implements this visualization. This default value view, it's hard-coded, or yes, it's hard-coded into the CubeGUI, and it actually doesn't offer you any possibility to configure. So it's basically a static, fixed, hard-coded display for the values. But that is only because in our cube file we have only doubles and integers. What else one can display, we actually currently don't know, so that's basically perfect visualization. But I can imagine that one can maybe have some bar, or maybe some arrow, or maybe small pie chart, or any other way to visualize single integer or double value, single its value, basically its size. If one has such idea, so one implements small plugin and adds it into CubeGUI, and then one will have a possibility to change it. So, but of course, such demonstration is pretty lousy. So for that we have another cube example, so like this one. And here we have a little bit artificial cube, but it has all set of values, data types which we support. So integer of all different size, double, and special doubles with own algebra, minimum or maximum. We have the rate, such value as a rate, and we have tau atomics, which are displayed like this, and we have histograms, we have arrays, we have scale function, complex values, and again tau values. So how these all values are working, I will demonstrate in another video. Here I would like to show you only that there is more possibility to configure this display. So again, we go to display, configure value view, click here, and we see that we actually have possibility to configure display of every of this data type. Of course, by such single element values, we simply didn't implement any different display than this one, therefore there is nothing to configure basically. But if we take a look, for example, at histogram, that is this one, which is now selected, we see that we can configure, for example, the size of this icon, of this small icon. That is current implementation of this plugin. So we can, for example, increase the size, apply, and we see that this icon is now bigger, so it's improved a little bit this display. So if we take it to another look at another values, for example, complex, here is nothing, mean double nothing, scale function. So this is hard-coded display, it will stay like this, it's without possibility to configure. If we go to tau atomic, then we see that we can actually configure. And here one can configure tau icon. Tau icon shows what? Minimum, average, and maximum. So which means these bars here, they're displaying minimum, average, and maximum. And tau value string is currently empty, therefore here is also no values. But if we select something, and that is here, like value, tau n, tau average, tau sum, so all these values are possible. Let's go for so the value is actually the icon value, and icon value has 3 values. Let's try it. Value, yeah, okay, and we see that as a value it displays 3 numbers which corresponds to these 3 small basically bricks. Yeah, so minimum, average, maximum, and in this way that's like small basically box plot. We can also change it, make here value tau. Let's see, where is this our? No. So we can, for example, take tau n, number of values, and tau average and tau deviation. So let's do tau n, tau average, and tau deviation. That is basically statistical data about here for this value. Now we see that, for example, the icons is still min, max, and average, but the values, numbers, are the number of entries in this statistical basically value. That is this average 8, and that is the deviation. Yeah. So in this way one can configure the presentation of the individual values of metrics in the CubeGUI. So currently this is implemented with a hard-coded plugin in the CubeGUI. There is a possibility to develop your own representation, own display, and install it as a plugin, and then you will have here another here it will be not default value view, but your name of your plugin. How to develop such plugin and display of example of such plugin, it will be a topic of another video. I hope you liked this video and it helps you further in your performance analysis. Give us a like, comment and subscribe, and see you next time.